Now that you've taken your notes for Lesson 9, go ahead and open up your book to Lesson 9, Tables of Equivalent Ratios, and we're going to discuss the two examples before you try the exercises with a partner. So example 1 is the same example that is in your notebook, which you've already taken your notes on, but here it is again, and I think it's good reinforcement to fill in that table again with those numbers. So reading the problem, it states, to make paper mache, the art teacher mixes water and flour. For every 2 cups of water, she needs to mix in 3 cups of flour to make the paste. Find equivalent ratios for the relationship 2 cups of water to 3 cups of flour. Represent the equivalent ratios in the table below. Down here I've written out what I was multiplying both sides by to show that I'm creating equivalent ratios by multiplying by the same number. So I have a 2 times 2 makes 4. 3 times 2 gives me 6, which gives me the equivalent ratio of 4 to 6. The next one, I took 2 times 3 to get 6, and 3 times 3 to get 9, which created the equivalent ratio of 6 to 9. I took 2 times 4 to get 8, and 3 times 4 to get 12, which is the equivalent ratio of 8 to 12. And lastly, I took 2 times 5 to give me 10, and 3 times 5 to give me 15, which gave me the equivalent ratio of 10 to 15. If you found the value of each of these, they would all come down to 2 to 3. Because they are equivalent. On my next page, you have a second example. On the second example, you're being asked to fill in this ratio table. First, let's read the problem. The problem says that Javier has a new job designing websites. He is paid at a rate of $700 for every 3 pages. So this is my ratio, $700 to 3 pages, or 700 to 3. Create a ratio table to show the total amount of money Javier has earned in ratio to the number of pages he has built. So below I have started my ratio table by writing my 3 next to total pages built and 700 next to total money earned. Each column in this table, I'm going to multiply by a certain number, which I'll write above. So for this one, I'm taking times 2. So 3 times 2 gives me 6, and 700 times 2 gives me 1,400. When you have numbers with zeros at the end, what you can do is skip count by the first number and then just add the zeros at the end. If you would like to see the work, come see me and I can demonstrate it. I'll have a couple examples below to show you how to multiply a 3-digit number by 1. My next column is multiplying by 3. I have a 3 times 3 gives me 9. 700 times 3 gives me 2,100. Next one, I have 3 times 4 gives me 12. 700 times 4 gives me 2,800. 3 times 5 gives me 15. 700 times 5 gives me 3,500. 3 times 6 is 18. 700 times 6 is 4,200. 3 times 7 is 21, 700 times 7 is 4,900, and lastly, 3 times 8 is 24, and 700 times 8 is 5,600. The question asks me, it says that Javier is saving up to purchase a used car that costs $4,200. I underline $4,200 because this is the new piece of information that I need to use in order to answer the question. And it says, how many web pages will Javier need to build before he can pay for the car? If you look up here, you're going to look at the money earned to figure out where's the $4,200. And I circled here because it shows that he earns $4,200 by building 18 pages. And so I wrote in my answer, Javier will need to make 18 web pages in order to pay $4,200 for the car. You don't have to write the answer exactly this way, but something along the lines of made you correct. Down here below, I'm showing you how I multiplied 700 times 4 and 700 times 5 in order to find the total money earned. And that's just additional examples in case you just wanted to see that work. And like I said before, if you would like to have further help with multiplying a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number, please let me know and we can do a small session where I teach you that. Now what I need you to do is go on to the exercise. Attempt exercise 1 on your own. When you have it completed, please raise your hand and let me know so that I can check your work like we have been doing after whole group instruction. I wanted to get you started on solving it, making sure that you saw the ratio because they do say it in words instead of numbers, and sometimes that is tricky. So the problem says, spraying plants with cornmeal juice is a natural way to prevent fungal growth on the plants. It is made by soaking cornmeal in water, using 2 cups of cornmeal for every 9 gallons of water. Complete the ratio table to answer the questions that follow. So we have cups of cornmeal is 2 and gallons of water is 9. Go ahead and complete the table the way that we've done the other two and answer A, B, and C before raising your hand to get your problem checked.